Some acts of revenge in history were so extreme they reshaped lives, cities, and nations, and the truth behind them will shock you, because these stories are real, recorded, and far stranger than fiction. Across Europe, Asia, and beyond, ordinary people planned revenge over years, sometimes decades, hiding rage behind patience. And sources suggest their actions changed destinies forever, in ways no one could undo afterward. Tonight you will see 3 revelations, including revenge built on betrayal, revenge turned into obsession, and revenge that destroyed both victim and avenger, and each story connects in ways you might not expect. These are not myths or legends, but events reported by historians, letters, and court records. Though some details remain debated, and that uncertainty makes them even more disturbing to imagine clearly. Let me show you exactly how this happened, starting with a world where honor mattered deeply. Betrayal cut like a knife, and patience became the most dangerous weapon anyone could ever hold. In earlier centuries, justice systems were slow, unfair, or controlled by elites. So many people believed personal revenge was the only path left, especially when power protected the guilty from punishment. This mattered then, and it matters now, because the same emotions still drive people today. Even if laws are stronger, and understanding these stories helps us recognize darker instincts within ourselves. One of the most famous cases involves Pierre Picard, a simple shoemaker, reportedly betrayed by friends, accused falsely, and locked away while others stole his future. Sources suggest he spent years in prison, learning patience, planning quietly, and promising himself justice, while his enemies lived freely, married well, and never suspected what was slowly coming for them. Here is the first surprise: Picard did not escape angry and reckless, but calm, educated, and methodical, reportedly guided by a dying fellow prisoner who taught him strategy, codes, and discipline. After release, he returned under a new identity, wealthy and convincing, and step by step, he allegedly destroyed each betrayer through manipulation, legal traps, and psychological terror rather than sudden violence. This story matters because it shows revenge can be slow, planned, and hidden, and that patience can be more dangerous than rage. A lesson repeated across history in terrifyingly consistent ways. Now here is where things get really interesting, because Picard was not alone. And many cultures produce similar revenge stories, each shaped by local laws, customs, and ideas about honor and shame. In ancient China, records describe families pursuing revenge for generations, carefully teaching children who wronged them, turning memory into duty, and duty into lifelong purpose that defined entire bloodlines. In medieval Europe, feuds between families could last decades, sometimes erupting in sudden violence, sometimes hidden behind polite smiles. Marriages and alliances that masked hatred waiting patiently underneath. Here comes another mini surprise. Some of the most extreme revenge stories were not bloody at first, but legal, social, and economic, designed to isolate enemies and ruin them without drawing attention. Now here's where things get really interesting, because when revenge scaled beyond individuals, it began shaping cities, politics, and even wars, according to historians studying long-running vendettas. The first major revelation is simple but shocking. Revenge often started small, with one betrayal, one lie, or one stolen opportunity, yet it grew until entire communities were dragged into chaos. Records show many Avengers tracked routines, studied weaknesses, and waited years, sometimes more than a decade, proving revenge was not impulsive, but a long-term project fueled by memory. This connects to daily life because small grudges can grow when left unchecked. Because many revenge acts unfolded like careful theater, where every move was rehearsed and every reaction predicted. And targeted entire systems, turning personal pain into public disaster for countless strangers. In ancient Rome, political revenge often meant exile, property seizure, or execution. In feudal Japan, Revenge followed strict codes, where honor demanded retaliation. Here comes a plot twist. Some avengers succeeded, yet felt no relief, because revenge did not restore what was lost, leaving emptiness where satisfaction was expected, according to later writings. This pattern appears again and again, showing revenge promises closure, but often delivers only silence, guilt, or fear, a haunting outcome rarely discussed in dramatic retellings of these events. This brings us to the second major revelation. The hidden mechanics behind revenge were often supported by society itself, through laws, customs, and silence that quietly encouraged retaliation. In many places, witnesses refused to speak, judges looked away, and neighbors stayed silent, effectively approving revenge without lifting a hand, creating environments where vendettas could thrive unchecked. According to some historians, this social support made revenge feel justified, even noble, blurring lines between justice and cruelty, especially when official systems failed the powerless repeatedly. Contrast then and now, modern laws discourage personal revenge, yet online shaming, cancellation, and harassment echo old patterns, showing how social punishment replaces swords in contemporary settings. Experts suggest revenge spreads faster when communities divide into sides, because loyalty overrides truth, and once people choose camps, escalation becomes easier than forgiveness or compromise. This layered system leads toward the biggest twist, because when revenge becomes normalized, it stops being personal and turns into tradition, policy, or even entertainment for the masses. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. The largest acts of revenge in history often harmed innocent people far more than the original targets ever did. When revenge scaled up, wars erupted, cities burned, and families fled, not because of strategy alone, but because leaders framed personal grudges as moral crusades everyone had to support. History shows many conflicts began with insult, betrayal, or assassination, followed by retaliation cycles, where each side claimed justice, while suffering multiplied far beyond the original offense. This reframes everything because revenge is not just an emotion, but a force that can mobilize resources, justify violence, and silence doubt when wrapped in righteous language. Sources suggest even successful avengers often faced isolation afterward, as fear replaced respect, and allies wondered if they could be next, creating loneliness instead of triumph at the end. So what does all this mean for us today? Especially in a connected world where anger spreads fast, memories never fade, and public judgment can feel instant and overwhelming. The short-term consequence is escalation, where one attack invites another and narratives harden, making compromise look like weakness rather than wisdom, a pattern history warns against clearly. Long-term, revenge corrodes trust, because people expect retaliation, not repair, and once fear becomes normal, cooperation collapses, leaving societies brittle and ready to fracture under pressure. There is a personal lesson here. Anger is natural, but history suggests acting on it without reflection often destroys more than it fixes, including the Avengers' own future and peace. Another small reveal: many historical figures who chose restraint were later praised as wise, while successful Avengers were remembered with fear or caution rather than admiration. This tension keeps the story alive because revenge feels powerful, yet its outcomes remain uncertain, unpredictable, and often tragic, even when carefully planned and patiently executed. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Some of the most extreme revenge stories may be exaggerated, but their emotional truths remain consistent across cultures. Even when details differ, sources agree on patterns, betrayal sparks obsession, patience sharpens plans, and the final act rarely delivers the peace that was promised at the beginning. The last twist is simple but unsettling. Revenge often survives longer in memory than justice because pain stories spread faster than healing ones, shaping culture more deeply over time. This ties back to the opening shock. These acts were recorded not to glorify them, but to warn future generations about where unchecked anger can lead if left alone. If this opened your eyes, remember these stories are mirrors, not instructions, showing what humans are capable of when hurt, unheard, and convinced revenge is the only answer left. History does not ask us to forget, but to understand because awareness can break cycles, while ignorance repeats them, sometimes with even higher stakes and wider damage. As we close, think about the three revelations. Revenge grows patiently, society often enables it, and its largest forms hurt the innocent most. leaving scars that last generations. If you found this valuable, like the video to support deeper history content, subscribe for more untold stories and share this with someone who loves dark, real human history. For a deeper dive, watch our next video exploring forgotten historical betrayals, where small lies triggered massive consequences, revealing how fragile trust has always been across civilizations. I want to hear from you. Which story shocked you most? And do you think revenge ever truly brings justice? Or does it only change who suffers in the end? Like, subscribe, share,